Let's have some discussion about that. Kim?
Well, there's so much that's being offered about we either pay attention, we're to that point of tempering from all the lifetimes we've gone through and stuff, that to become more aware instead of becoming attached to all these things in the psych realms, all the worldly things. It's and it is interesting how much when we come into these new bodies, how much the effects are from the people that are called our parents have on us, and that's what the children are dealing with on the earth right now. Is that if the parents what they show the children what is important to them, and it's so much that money's so important in this world. It seems like that the attention is focused on acquiring money or material things. I guess you'd call it more than money, all these worldly things, the houses and the cars and the clothes, and the children have no actual guidance at all about what's really going on, unless their parents are aware of the new presentation right now, and the children are observing that, like this show, what's being said, what Dwayne is providing in the books, and how important this really is, this awareness of what's really going on. It just seems like the whole world, even when it's being offered, who is really paying attention? Who really even seems to have any care at all about it? Like it's an unimportant thing to know what's really going on. It's just everybody's so wrapped up in this material survival and all the wants and what's it called, the personal self's desires and or attachments, and that's what the children are seeing. So unless they have some real guidance and education, like the new homeschooling, they don't have much of a chance of becoming aware of what's really going on, why they came here. So this is what's so important about this new presentation, is that for those that have the opportunity to share this, so that the children are able to observe what's really important. And it was interesting, too, how Dwayne says that the cell phones are worse than nuclear blasts. The HARP technology stuff, that's worse than nuclear blasts. So that's very impressive to think that something that we're all handling or having effects from, this HARP stuff in our lives, is so powerful.
Well, not all people live to a ripe old age, even if they think they will, because most people already have their present preset destiny from past lives of karma set into motion, and it will supersede all recognized for what it is. Physical situation is not a real life, but a boxed-up simulation of an existence in an animated and holographic position. And so it is. Our conscious and unconscious life and our prismatic view and relation to it is characterized by a relativity, which is that one would have studied physics. You can study your own self, just like you can study physics. Is a dimension of this realm and others in relation. So, to the subconscious mind, the idea of death is merely a periphery in the flow of transformation. Those phenomena it is continually recording because it is only the physical body which ceases as the other bodies continue on for their own durations. So when a person takes on a new body and mind within this realm, they also have what they have always had as far back as they were once here from their beginning of the real awareness of each person is staggering to the intellect and cannot be properly evaluated according to the standards and measurement of any physical proportion which exist here from the invented officialness. For anyone to truly comprehend the true reality, they must learn to step completely outside of their own organized consciousness. Each person judges their existence by the standards already set forth as they experience each new personal life. But this becomes a conditioned boundary and not one of a real involvement. So what each person has brought into their range of awareness cannot be used to perceive reality. It can only be used to locate other phenomena according to the invented relations involved. To the unconscious mind, the idea of an end to life for one has no more meaning than the beginning, because there is a constant flow to it where there is never a beginning or an absolute ending. And so it experiences an uninterrupted succession of births and deaths and records them as it sees them. This is why one can experience their past lives in dreams and also under professionally monitored hypnosis, whereas a conscious mind cannot. The conscious mind, in both cases, is put aside and the other part of one is exposed. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? To the professional community, crib death is one of the biggest mysteries as to why it happens and what is really taking place. Many times, the unaware soul may change its mind about entering this body because the body may not have to be developing in the way that one wants, or there could be a karmic debt to be paid off, such as a person having killed others in previous lives, or it can also be an unseen virus, among other things. With this information and so much more from one's own dream visions, a person can have an objective understanding and not just a material view of crib death. As I became older and able to read, at some point I looked at my birth certificate and read that my mom had a birth prior to mine, but she never told me about that. I never asked because I knew she was very emotional. Besides, it would have been like asking a sheet of drywall, as she had no real experience, but just her emotional attitude about things which were her own agreeable considerations. And so I asked Rizar about my mom's birth death, and he told me that it was premature and there needed to be a new one made for me. I never really looked into it because it didn't really interest me. But there was a lot of people who get so unglued over the idea of crib death. And so for them, they can go and know The soul will re-enter at a later date if it wants to. Having children is always an agreement between two people, and the person coming into it as a newborn, as it takes all involved to make this happen. People with sleep disorders include bedwetters and sleepwalkers. Nocturnal bedwetting is more common than the public realizes, and not only affects children, but many adults as well. As an example, within the armed services are those who are discharged for very psychic sleep disorders, especially those who have seen battle. Millions of people all over the world are sleepwalkers. It has been found that those who are in a deep sleep are hard to awaken, but once awakened, they can become very lucid immediately and give a good amount of their dream experiences. Sleepwalkers are rather deceptive to those who experience them. Their eyes are usually open, while their other senses are shut to the external world and fully recognize what is taking place. They are sometimes directed to a specific goal or definition and destination as they walk about trying to figure their way along, all the while seeing themselves and even talking to someone. For the most part, the dream can be a nightmare and also frightening to the person involved. Yet it is like they are held helpless to the whims and will of their encounter. Many people have died in their sleep due to the fearlessness of entities and actual monsters who are gathered around them as they make their way with the direction of these creatures. This is the reason sleepwalkers have been known to fall downstairs or go out windows and even do themselves harm with knives and guns. These entities are persuading them in one's dreams to do so. Paul relates two examples as he knew a woman who was always being threatened by her deceased girlfriend who had committed suicide, and she would appear to this woman in her dreams, violently threatening her to do the same thing and come into the nightmarish world where she was. The second case was a woman who had nightmares from the experience of being beaten into physical unconsciousness by her overly violent boyfriend. The dream would reoccur constantly, showing a man with terrible rage in his face and standing over her bed with his fist ready to pulverize her. These two dreams are extreme cases, but there are millions who suffer such damages and do not know where to turn. Paul mentioned the fact that he took care of both these situations and hundreds more because he had the rod of power. Can we comment on that a little bit? Our dreams certainly can be very puzzling at times. Where did all this come from and why?
Where did what come from? Dreams?
All the bad dreams and the sleepwalking and the sort of do we lead another life, get a glimpse into our other lives, and does this affect this life? Obviously, it must in some way if we're getting these subconscious dreams.
Well, we hang around in bad neighborhoods, a lot of negative input. You know, if you go down to San Francisco in the rough districts, you may get into some trouble. So same on the real side. You choose your friends, choose where you want to hang out, so to speak. Thing the new you, and be with the real guys. You're better off than venturing into the, unless you want to have the adventure, but you can go with it. Better off if you're just doing something of a benefit for especially nowadays with helping people. I know a lot of our new friends are helping people on the real side, and they're doing something that's worthy of their time, and they're doing something that to help the real guy. Like in Kevin's book, I just read book 1 about him going into the subconscious of a person and removing tap lines. He was actually there witnessing and helping a real guy do that. This person was ready for them to be removed, so Kevin saw how the process worked. So we can do things like that too. We don't have to hang around the negative energies and basically, agree to them, agree to what they're doing. There's another thing that you mentioned, Lila, about hypnosis. And we have a new friend that's studying Dolores Cannon. If anybody knows, she died, I think, a few years ago, but she's very big onto hypnosis, and she offers a class. Our new friend is taking the class, and they do something with that to help people. And this hypnosis can help one access different dimensions, your subconscious, your different bodies. I mean, it's pretty extensive, so it's a way to assist people to, if they don't have real side experiences, or if they do, and they want to do something else, they hit it with another angle, look at it from another position. They can use hypnosis to delve into some of these things going on within themselves. Maybe in the meantime, our new friend thinks that she could, help with tap lines and introduce the new you and make the connection for the person to the real universe in whatever way this person is open to it. There's many ways.